What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today I want to talk about something the Jets are doing on offense that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, and someone that I think needs to be benched in place of a rookie, and that is Xavier Gipson needing to sit down for Malachi Corley, who has gotten zero usage so far. We're going to get into all that. Today's video is powered by BetUS, the official sportsbook of the channel. Make sure to sign up using promo code YouTube150 and receive a match deposit bonus of 150% on your first deposit up to $2,000. So get in on the action. The Jets are +1 in this game coming up on the road. Well, I mean, it's a neutral field, so the Jets are +1 and +120 on the money line. Honestly, thought that spread would be a lot bigger the other way. Thought the Vikings would be favored by like 4 points. They look like the best team in the NFL right now, which I don't know if it sticks that way. Maybe Vegas is like, hey, it's going to fall back to earth here, and the Jets aren't as bad as what they looked this past week. Entirely possible, but still a little bit of a surprising line. Anyway, if you want to get in on the action, sign up using promo code YouTube150. Okay, so as mentioned, Malachi Corley has been an absolute non-factor for the New York Jets in their first 4 games of the year. His snap count is 2. He has played 2 snaps in 4 games. Now, if you listen to what I was saying over the summer and going into the beginning of the year, something that I felt like I was repeating it a lot, but it was that the Jets bring on their young players, especially their wide receivers, very slowly. I don't think Malachi Corley is going to play a big role early on in the year, but as the season goes on, I think he'll get more involved. Now, even with that caveat that I repeated to no end this summer, I did not think it would be 2 freaking snaps in 4 weeks. What the hell are we doing here, folks? That is the question that I have, because I didn't think it would be this slow. And this is someone that they absolutely adored in the draft process. Could not stop talking about this guy. They claimed that he was their number 4 wide receiver on their board in the draft. And then you don't play him? I mean, they literally posted in one Jets drive on the internet for all to see. Joe Douglas, when the second round of the draft started, almost instantaneously was trying to move up for a wide receiver, and specifically the wide receiver that they wanted was Malachi Corley. Now, they didn't get up into the second round to get him, but they got him at the top of the 3rd round, and they were so thrilled. And again, they put this stake in the ground that he was their wide receiver 4 on the board, which is just, again, just absolute nonsense. One, you don't have to actually say that if you think that's the case. But number 2, you guys look like absolute fools if you think that's the case, because the actual wide receiver 4 who went off the board, Brian Thomas, would probably be the Jets' best pass catcher right now. And Malachi Corley's played 2 snaps. So, like, I hate when this front office, this organization, this coach goes out of their way to just say absolute nonsense on this guy. You could be excited about Malachi Corley. I think he'd be an exciting fit in this offense. But you don't have to go out and be like, yeah, this guy, we actually loved him. We would have taken him in the 1st round, but we got him in the 3rd round, and we're not going to play him the first month of the year. Make it make sense is the question. Make it make sense. Now, the message that I have at this point is it's enough of the bringing him on slowly. That's got to go out the window. He has to play over Xavier Gipson, who has been an absolute nothing burger for the New York Jets through the first 4 games of the year, at both wide receiver and as a returner, mind you. So as a wide receiver, Gipson has 3 catches, 22 yards, and a drop on just 6 targets. There was an unfathomable play that happened late in the game. It was either 3rd and 10 or 4th and 10. It was 3rd and 10 because I believe Rodgers got sacked on 4th down. But anyway, they throw a back shoulder fade to Xavier Gipson. Now, I'm not blaming Gipson. That's not his fault. He should not have been put in that position by the offensive coordinator. It's just absolutely idiotic. But he has done virtually nothing as a wide receiver for this team. And same thing could be said as a returner. Now, I don't want to take anything away from the play that he had in week 1 in 2023. It was a miracle play, punt return for a touchdown. You can't deny the importance of it. It was awesome. It was a great moment. All those things are true. UDFA, he's on Hard Knocks. So is he going to make the team? Is he not? And then has a massive play to help the Jets win the game in an emotional game. You lose Aaron Rodgers, the 9-11, the whole thing. Hasn't done a thing since. Throughout training camp and the preseason, anyone who went to those preseason games or training camp practices could tell you that Xavier Gipson did not look like the most comfortable guy returning punts and kicks. And it's shown so far in his early sample size of the first 4 games of this year. Now, he has 13 returns for 97 yards on punts. Okay, so keep that in mind, at 13 returns, 97 yards on punts. And on kickoff, 7 returns for 184 yards. So how does that stack up versus the rest of the league through the first month of the year? Well, Xavier Gipson is averaging 26.3 yards per attempt on the kickoff returns. That would put him 28th in the NFL. There are 32 teams in the NFL. So that is, for the math folks at home, a bottom of the barrel group, a bottom 10 in the league. Not good. Punt returns, even worse, 7.8 yards per attempt. He is 31st in the NFL, second worst. Ew. I absolutely frustrating because that's supposed to be his strength. That's why he made this team to begin with. And I'm not convinced that it was worth it. I really don't think so far it has proven to be worth it. I think the Jets, it would be worthwhile for them to try to get their young player that they were allegedly so high on, that he was their 4th wide receiver on the board. If that was really the case, get him involved in the game. Against Denver in particular, the Jets were struggling to get yards in this game or move the ball at all. This is your time, Nathaniel Hackett, to get creative. Throw a screen to Malachi Corley. Give him the ball out of the backfield. We saw Breece Hall had 10 carries and could not get over 1 yard per attempt. We're talking about a guy whose nickname is literally the Yak King, yard after catch king. Find creative ways to get him the ball in his hands, and you let him do the work. Don't make life harder for your offense. Make it easier. And the best comparison, and it's not a one-for-one swap because these guys play differently, and it's one's a Super Bowl contending team. But again, look at what the Kansas City Chiefs are able to do. So they take Xavier Gipson in the NFL, Xavier Worthy in the NFL draft, and he is literally just a speed demon. He broke records for his speed. Is he a great route runner? No. Does he get pushed around on the line of scrimmage? Yes. So he is clearly a limited player. I'm not saying he's bad, but he has a specific defined role that might make it a little bit more challenging to be a well-rounded wide receiver. But guess what? It doesn't matter because Andy Reid is smart enough to put him in advantageous situations, and he's got 3 touchdowns in 4 games. One guy's played 2 snaps in 4 games. The other guy's got 3 touchdowns in the first 4 games. And I know one went earlier, Xavier Worthy, but again, in Robert Saleh, in Joe Douglas, in this organization's mind, if Malachi Corley was wide receiver 4, that means they ranked him higher than Xavier Worthy. So in their mind, they think that Malachi Corley is a better player than Worthy, but they are not utilizing him. They played him just 2 damn snaps in 4 games. What's the point of dressing him? What's the point of drafting him? You know, it's the same argument that I was making, but like, what's the point of drafting, a big bruising running back, Braylon Allen in the 4th round, if you're not going to use him on the goal line or 3rd and 1 opportunities? The same thing could be said when what's the point of drafting someone whose literal nickname is the Yak King and you refuse to utilize him when your offense can't do a damn thing? Instead, you're just going to be repetitive, do the same thing over and over and over again. And once again, that kind of goes back to my overall point from my videos this week after the post game and yesterday's video and now today's video. I have major concerns about the head coach and I have major concerns about the offensive coordinator. I do not think they are good enough, and this is another example. But moral of the story, now is the time. Throw out the Xavier Gipson package, replace it with the Malachi Corley package. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. I am Matt O'Leary. Subscribe if you're new. Shout out again to BetUS for being the sponsor of today's video, and I'll catch you next time.